Mexico, I respect the country. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our manufacturing. They're taking our money. They're taking everything, and they're killing us on the border.
That was Donald Trump moments ago doubling down on his illegal immigration stance. This is outrage continues across the country tonight after the senseless murder of 32-year-old Catherine Steinle by an illegal immigrant who was deported not once, not twice, but 5 times. With me now, immigration attorney Michael Wiles, who is an expert in the area of immigration law. Michael, you say the San Francisco sheriff didn't do his job and the feds didn't do their job. So what happened?
Well, it all started back in the day, Judge, if you pull the lens back, when Congress, since President Reagan, hasn't changed immigration laws, and local police who do not have the resource or the forensic capability in looking at work permits and asylum applications are now stuck fighting the war on terrorism, fighting the war on drugs. And by the way, on top of everything, we want you to handle our immigration problem because our elected officials are sleeping.
See, here's the thing, Michael, here's the thing. The guy was brought to San Francisco to be prosecuted on an old warrant. All right, and the feds not only lodged a detainer, the feds called and said, we want to make sure this guy gets back to us because he's an enforcement priority. All right, I don't need a local cop to do anything. Plus, we give these dirtbags money to house them.
And it cost $12,500 to remove them. The guy had 7.
So what? They got the money from us.
The guy had 7 felonies. 5 times he was deported. Just look at the resources and the Keystone Cops, federal law enforcement, local law enforcement.
There's no Keystone Cops. The sheriff lives in a sanctuary city that doesn't allow him, pursuant to their ordinance, to hand him over. The San Francisco Administrative Code. No agency, office, or law enforcement shall use city funds or resources to enforce federal immigration.
Judge, I work all day long as an immigration lawyer, bringing good people into this country. We're working on the guy who saved Marcus Luttrell. I helped the guy who subdued the shoe bomber. My father helped John Lennon back in the 70s.
But these guys aren't convicted criminal aliens. That's what we're talking about. Don't conflate the issue. There are good illegals and there are bad illegals.
And no criminal immigrant should be on U.S. soil.
So what do we do with them?
Okay, well, this is the problem. If you look, and if your audience looks, and if this network would look at the sanctuary city more as a Band-Aid, and the problem is the border. Look, I'm a former mayor and a former federal prosecutor. There are a handful of us who saw immigration 3-dimensionally, Rudy Giuliani and a stack of others. And Mayor Giuliani, like our current mayor in New York, was mayor of a sanctuary city and respected all the rules of a sanctuary city.
Don't even compare Giuliani to de Blasio, okay? They had totally different tastes. If you're a former federal prosecutor, you got a U visa. I don't need to give everybody a free ride.
All right, so let's talk about the U visa.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, a U visa only works when the crime has been committed and you bring somebody to justice and they're backed up now.
Baloney!
Judge, let me ask you a question. What if there's a child, the parent came in illegally? The morality and the breach of our laws is clearly on the parent's shoulder. Now, this poor family who's mourning a loss of a daughter goes out to me, and my heart goes out to that family. But whose life is more valuable? An immigrant child whose parents believe that she might be deported and they won't bring her to a hospital in one of these cities? Or a woman who's felled by a felon? That felon should be deported, and these Keystone Cops should have gotten rid of her.
Let me tell you something. This has nothing to do with comparing a kid who needs medical care. This has to do with criminal I don't care about.
They won't go to a hospital.
But they're not committing crimes. Don't deflate this whole thing into an emotional.
We are agreed. Anybody who commits a crime should not be in this country.
They ought to get their asses thrown out of this country.
A serious crime, a felony should go.
So don't talk to me about kids in hospitals.
Well, you know what? Nobody wants to hear those kind of things, Judge. But the kids, we have 11 million people here. We're not deporting them. We don't have enough handcuffs.
We got to deport the criminals. I got to go. I'm going to have you back, Michael Wiles.
There aren't enough handcuffs to get rid of these people. What are we going to do with them?
Hand them over.
To who? Donald Trump?
To the feds.
To the feds.
To the feds. Michael Wiles, thanks for being with us. More